So over Thanksgiving break, me and my girlfriend got invested in some HGTV shows. You ever watch those?
Not really.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know
the
what you're talking
home
about.
renovation, home improvement type shows.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we were stuck, and we started watching this one called Flip or Flop.
Okay.
You want to guess the premise?
I couldn't even begin.
Couldn't even begin. Okay, keep in mind these all take place in fucking California, right?
Oh, so there's no chance. Everything's a flop in California.
Not it, bro. You hold on a minute, 'cause you're about to be flabbergasted.
Okay.
So the premise of this one is they take foreclosed houses and they flip them to see if they can make a profit. Flip or flop.
Naturally, yeah.
Crazy, right? Intuitive. And so we started watching the show, and they start showing this house that is just absolutely decrepit, decayed. Just a complete shitter. The roof is literally caving in. It is uninhabitable.
Nice.
Completely
So every
uninhabitable.
apartment in New York.
Yeah, yeah. Windows are just boarded up. Doors barely even work. Roof, again, caved in.
Okay.
Cannot live in there.
No.
Guess how much this shit sold for at the auction?
1.3 million.
No, $210,000.
That's still a lot.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Bro, $210,000 here in Michigan where we live?
For an uninhabitable house.
Literally, you cannot live in this place. The definition of a fixer-upper. I can fix him.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, it's I knew that the California real estate market was just absolutely fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
But I did not know that it was this fucked up.
Oh, yeah. The California housing market, there's no shot you can get a good house and not be poor for the rest of your life.
Clearly.
You don't. You just, in California, if you're a working class person, you simply do not make enough
You're
money.
fucked. You're absolutely
That's
getting
why there's
shit
so
on.
many homeless people in LA.
God damn.
It is actually insane. The housing market is just destroyed right now. There's no shot I'm ever going to buy a house.
Oh, I'm never going to be a homeowner.
Renting for the rest of my life. By design.
Yeah, literally.
There's just no shot. Welcome back to Head in the Office. We got a kind of a sad episode planned, honestly.
Yeah.
Not a lot of good news.
Originally, we thought it was going to be a light week.
Yeah.
It was not a light week.
Not a light week at all. Not a lot of good news this week, but we'll sprinkle in some surprises if we can. But
We'll try.
yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. But before we get into the episode, make sure you head over to the Patreon, check it out, entertain us a little bit.
Yeah,
Go over to the YouTube, the TikTok, give us some love.
A follow, a subscribe, maybe.
Exactly. Show us some support. And if you want to show even more support, you can leave a review on Apple.
Give me those sweet, sweet dopamine hits.
Give us a 5-star review on Apple. We'll read it on the pod. We don't got any today, though.
Yeah, not sad.
Second week in a row. We need y'all to step up the game
Yeah,
a little
come
bit.
on now. I'm dopamine deprived.
Make a second Apple ID if you have to.
I'm getting beaten, battered, and bruised
Yeah.
right now
Yeah.
by school, and I just need it. I need
Toughest
it so bad.
part of the semester. We need some support. So
Exactly. Finals, 2 weeks, baby.
if you'll allow us to guilt trip you real quick, head over to Apple. Leave a 5-star review. Tell your friends to listen. Get your dad on the pod.
Get your dad on.
Get your conservative uncle on the pod. Have them listen to us.
We'll phone a friend.
Yeah, we'll convince them. We can fix them. We can fix them.
I can fix him.
All right, so getting right into the news today, I want to issue a little bit of a trigger warning really for the entire episode.
Facts.
We'll be talking about some pretty touchy subjects, but we'll let you know when we get there. But the first thing we're going to be talking about is Oxford today and what happened last Tuesday in Oxford High School. So a trigger warning for gun violence if you're susceptible to that kind of stuff. But we'll go ahead and get right into it. So
Yeah.
last Tuesday, November 30th, there was a 15-year-old student named Ethan Crumbley who brought a gun to Oxford High School in Michigan, and he started opening fire around 12 or a little bit before noon.
Yeah.
And despite the shooting only lasting minutes, he was able to kill 4 students and injured several others, including, I think, 1 teacher, making it the deadliest school shooting since Santa Fe in 2018, which before that was Parkland in the same year.
Damn.
Yeah. So not great at all. But a review of the evidence leading up to the shooting revealed that the attack was premeditated, and it was advertised by Ethan Crumbley on social media.
Yeah.
And the school administrators had also had a handful of meetings with Ethan and his parents,
Literally,
and nothing was done.
The morning of, they had a meeting with this kid.
Yeah.
And his parents. They were there. There was a text from his mom that said, Ethan, don't do it.
Yep.
You can't tell me they didn't know. There so many steps along the way were just mishandled.
Oh, yeah.
With this whole dude had a countdown on his Instagram story.
Mm-hmm.
Kids stayed home from school because they knew that something was gonna happen.
Yeah. And the warning signs were absolutely there. CNN reported that Ethan Crumbley used a gun on November 30th. He used a gun that was bought 4 days prior as an early Christmas gift by his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And he also, what was revealed was that after the Thanksgiving break, 2 teachers had reported him for suspicious behavior. One instance of him shopping for ammunition while in class, and another instance of where a teacher found a drawing that he drew which apparently depicted a school shooting. Both of these instances were reported. He met with administrators to talk about this on Monday and the same day of the shooting on Tuesday. Nothing was done. No disciplinary action at all.
It's literally cartoonishly evil
Yeah.
what this kid did leading up to the incident.
Yeah.
And nobody caught on. Like, this is the shit you see in those advertisements or those PSAs that you think is super corny. That shit would never happen in real life. And this kid did all of them. Literally,
Yeah.
the evil fucking drawings, the shopping for ammo and guns at school. Like, how do you not see that? It's basic.
Yeah,
It's the basic
he
shit.
literally did. I remember a couple of years ago, there was this YouTube ad that went around.
Is it the one where it's like the 2 high schoolers and they
That-
fall in love and in the background are all the warning
Yes,
signs?
yes. In the background, there's a kid like in each of the shots that has warning signs of him like looking up guns in class or like doing suspicious things on his phone or whatever it may be.
Quite literally the things that Ethan did.
The exact same things that just, fumbled the bag. And like, we can talk about specifically what the students did to try to evade the shooter and like the Alice training, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And apparently that was very successful. And the police got there a lot quicker than they did for the Parkland shooting. So like those measures that they have taken, that basically every school in the nation has taken
Yeah.
at this point, have been very successful. But the administrators completely ignored every single warning sign when it was blatantly in front of their face.
Yeah, I like how the students are the ones here that were, doing their part.
Yeah.
The victims were the ones doing their part.
Oh,
in this
yeah.
instance. When did we put the Alice training in? Wasn't that after Parkland?
I think it was after Parkland, but like, Parkland had came after dozens of other school shootings that we had heard about
Which is
as
ridiculous.
we grew up.
And that's something I wanted to talk about is I remember that all the drills that I've grown up with doing in my life, all the fucking active shooter drills I've had to do in school, usually up until, I want to say Parkland, I could be wrong, the standard was, just hide in a corner. Turn the lights off, lock the door, and hide in a corner.
Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That, so ineffective.
So fucking ridiculous. And they
Yes.
finally institute the Alice training, the things that we all instinctively have wanted to do in those situations.
Yeah.
And then it's finally made mainstream.
Yeah.
I'm glad it worked, but like, come on. Administrators have been so behind the curve our whole lives.
Yes.
It's insane.
It is actually insane. And at the time of recording this, the parents of Ethan Crumbley have been apprehended, and they're being charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. And they're obviously complicit in this.
Oh,
like, they
1000%.
absolutely are complicit in
Say,
this.
Ethan, don't
And
do it.
We know that they tried to run away, by the way. I don't know if you all
Yes,
saw that in
they
the
went on
headlines.
the run.
But they were on the run for like probably 24 hours or so.
Yeah.
The cops didn't know where they were. There was like a county-wide manhunt going on for them. Eventually they found them, but they were obviously trying to flee.
Yeah,
because they know.
They withdrew a bunch of money in cash from an ATM.
Yeah.
And I think when they got caught, they said something like, "Oh, we weren't trying to run from the cops. We were trying to run from people who might have wanted to hurt us."
Yeah.
Shut
Doubtful.
the fuck up.
Really doubtful. But like Gage said, for as long as I can remember, we've been kind of trained on how to like handle school shootings, but it obviously took a turn after Parkland in 2018 when we started learning like Alice training and stuff. But as a student, like growing up in the time of school shootings, every single classroom I've been in, I've had an escape plan.
No, literally, yeah. You're always thinking like, damn, like there's always a thought that pops into your mind a couple times in the semester. It's like, damn, what if something happened like right here?
Yes.
Like, what if something's going on?
Yeah.
And we even at our high school, we had a couple of threats. I think only one of them ended up being a serious threat where something happened.
Yeah.
And we had a couple bomb threats.
Yes.
Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when the bomb threat was going on, kind of unrelated, kind of related. We were locked in third hour, and I had to skip lunch and just thinking, like, this was a part of normal life.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't even fazed by it. I was just sitting there with my friends in class. Just
Nobody
like,
was
oh, wow.
phased. Nobody was phased when
literally.
that happened. I mean,
It's insane.
It is insane that, and you can ask any student, you can find any student that has grown up, went through high school and middle school during this time. Every single person has an escape plan for every classroom that they're in.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it be like jumping on a window or running down the hall or barricading the door and grabbing like a weapon that you could use from the class, whether it be like a textbook or like, I don't know, a piece of metal or whatever. Like,
Stapler.
yeah, every single student has some kind of plan because this is the world that we're growing up in. Because without any action to address any of these issues, we literally have to come up with plans of how we're going to survive if someone comes into our school and tries to kill us.
It's so incredibly sad, and it just makes me, it's like, my whole entire life, our whole entire lives, the two big events that have been going on nationally in the news that pop up like every so often but consistently have been school shootings and the war on terror.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they've just always fucking been there. And they're horrible things, both of them.
Yeah, and they're just normalized now.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, when I first learned about what was going on in Oxford High School, I was like, it felt very strange. It was like a feeling that, I don't know, it was very foreign to me. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of our proximity to the high school being in Michigan, or if it's because it's like the first shooting since online school has really ended. So it's the first one in like 2 years that we've really, you know, has gotten national coverage,
big one,
which is also insane that there's been other school shootings that just haven't gotten national attention, by the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Something feels very different about this one. It may just be a combination of factors.
Quite literally close to home.
But it's just, I mean, like the world that we've grown up in, gotta be a simulation.
What a good one.
Can't be real.
So great. American exceptionalism is really shining through in these moments.
Yeah, and like I said, like we've grown up with all of this throughout our lives, and there's also, as these school shootings have been happening over the last 2 decades, there's been tons and tons of protests against gun violence. There's been March for Our Lives, all kinds of other stuff, students coming together with parents in the community, advocating for gun restrictions or things that will help, you know, keep students safe in school. Nothing has ever happened.
Oh, God. Actually, you know what? You know what happens when those things happen?
Teachers get guns.
No, oh God, that's a separate story. One, but no, it's the kids who were victims. Well, not victims, but like at the school that was shot. Yeah, victims of the school shootings, even though they weren't directly shot.
Yeah,
like David Hogg in
that's
Parkland,
who I was thinking
end
of.
up getting harassed by conservative Congress people.
By members of Congress,
literally sitting members of Congress now.
Was it Marjorie Taylor Greene or Laura Boebert that did that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, harassed him when he was in D.C.
Quite literally on the street, harassed.
Was accusing him of like faking it.
Yeah.
That is like crazy.
What the fuck?
Was it? I think in Parkland, 17 people died?
Yeah.
Like
or
you are
18, I think.
You are soulless. Like, oh my fucking God. Like these are our members of Congress harassing, like, what is it? Is he 20 now or something? Like I don't know. He's
like
around as old as we
like
are.
A year or two older than us.
Yeah. Like a 21-year-old, you're just harassing him.
Uh-huh.
Like he has survived a traumatic experience, dedicated his life to fighting against those traumatic experiences, and you're going to harass him?
And then he gets harassed by one of the most powerful sitting people in the country.
Yes.
The sitting congresswoman.
Yeah. That is insane. And like I said, like nothing has been done to address gun violence. I have no reason to believe that just because Oxford has happened that anything will change now.
Oh yeah.
The talks on gun reform have always just been circular. They've never actually accomplished anything. They've never been fruitful. And at this point it feels like a waste of time.
Yeah, and it's like the only gun reform that actually happens, I don't know, it's like banning bump stocks.
Yeah.
Shit like that happened once, like under Trump.
Yeah.
Was it bump stocks or something else that was banned under Trump?
I think there may have been a bill that like limited magazine size too, or maybe that's something older than I'm thinking of.
I think that's older. I think that might have been Obama.
Oh, okay.
I know there's just something under Trump, and that's the last fucking thing that happened.
But like, I mean, there's evidence that shows that when you put more restrictions on gun laws, whether it be like background checks or the type of guns you can have or whatever it may be, when you put those restrictions on, it does decrease gun violence.
Well, yeah, because it's too fucking easy to get a gun.
Exactly.
Like,
we have more guns in this country than people.
God, literally, there's 120 guns per every 100 person in America.
Yeah.
What the fuck is up with that?
And the thing is, like, it's clearly not dispersed equally. Guns are centralized to a very, I don't know if it's a small subset, but to a subset of the population.
I'd imagine you got a ton of like upper middle class people with arsenals.
Yeah, they got like 15
they're
guns.
Just ready for all the BLM protesters to march through their neighborhood, you know?
And like, I hate to like obviously bring race into the conversation, but the government only cares about guns when black people have them. Mm-hmm. Like that, and that's demonstrably
Historically, that has been true.
Yeah, and I think we'll insert a clip right now.
Okay.
But this clip that we're about to insert is like I don't know, it's a news anchor talking about how Ethan Crumbley, you know, is a white person being portrayed as like an innocent kid. Just listen, the twist at the end, unimaginable.
You're gonna think. I thought like Jeremy even prefaced me when he sent it to me saying, "Bro, just wait till the end. This is crazy." I'm watching the whole video. I'm like, "What's so crazy about this?"
Yeah.
Then boom, it happens.
Yeah.
Look at the photos of Ethan Crumbley people on social media and some media outlets are using. He's now 15, and yet they chose this angelic-looking photo from about when he was 10. What is the purpose of this when there are several other photos like his mugshot that could have been shown instead? This same sort of tactic is used in reverse against Black perpetrators and even victims. Rather than use their school photo of them smiling and looking like good kids, they use the meanest looking, most aggressive photo they can find on social media to portray them as villains. They attempt to portray them as people who either obviously would commit the heinous crime they did or victims who deserved it. They do this to placate a certain bias and mindset that the audience already holds, and the same looks to be happening in this case. Showing Crumbly as this innocent-looking angelic white kid is intended to stoke fear and support a narrative that white people, no matter how nice they look, are domestic terrorists who we should all be afraid of.
So now that you've seen that,
Oh my God.
the incredible twist at the end, it amazes me because she recognizes a very real trend that when Black people commit crime or when crime is committed against them, they are depicted in the most horrifying, scary, violent way possible to try to paint all people of color or all people of their population as, bad.
Just horrible.
Just to show that, like,
1350.
to show like, well, of course this person committed a crime. Look at what they look like.
Yeah.
And then she says, it's different for white people. She acknowledges that white people are portrayed as like innocent kids, or they're shown at their best moments, or like, favorable photos are shown of them. But then she says that somehow that is evidence that those photos are being used to show that all white people are bad.
Didn't she say something like all white people are terrorists?
Yeah, that's the narrative.
Bruh, oh God.
Demonstrably wrong.
Who thinks like that?
Nobody.
Not a single person. It's literally just there to rally up hogs.
Nice photos of white people are shown when they commit crimes always as a way to diminish the severity of their crime
Yeah, it's
and to
just
minimize
to
it.
humanize them. That's
Yes.
it.
And it's always used to be like, well, look, they were having a tough time, wrong place at the wrong time. They, their mental health is bad, which is probably true.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's always used as a way to explain their actions and excuse their actions rather than condemn them. Or say that like white people are bad. And obviously, like Ethan Crumbley, he didn't commit this attack because he's white.
Oh God.
Like there's a variety of factors that contributed to it. But the problem is that when a Black person commits a crime, or any person of color, that is used to represent their entire population.
Yes.
But that never happens when there's white people. So the thing,
not at all.
her saying that people are using nice, like childlike photos of Ethan Crumbley as a way to make all white people look bad is just fucking insane.
Oh yeah.
Insane.
Oh my God, bro. The contrast between the two pictures too. The fucking picture when he was like 10 years old praying.
Yeah.
And then his fucking mugshot. Oh my God.
Like I said, she identifies a correct trend that people use pictures of white people when they commit a crime. They use like innocent looking photos to make them look not so bad.
Yeah.
Very true. I don't know how she gets to the conclusion that it's bad for white people.
I don't know what the Rising is. I've
Yeah.
like seen him some other time, but what the fuck kind of journalism is this?
I don't know.
Literally, you could have just cut the clip. You could have cut it right there.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, oh, right, base. That's pretty cool.
Yes. No, that would have just been like correct.
Yeah, that'd have been
Like,
the correct take.
that is just reality. But like the logical leap is just, I did not expect the twist. I just saw that on Twitter and I was like,
Bro, what?
yeah. And I guarantee you that she's framing it like this now, and other conservative commentators will frame it like this now, so that when conversations come up around gun reform, they'll have an excuse to not do anything. Because they'll just be like, it was just the individual, and look how the media is framing him. They're demonizing him. And it's like, yeah, he's a fucking demon.
Literally.
Like, yes, he's bad.
It's like I've also seen people on like Instagram comment on like those Instagram nude pages like, oh wow, you're really showing his face now. This is exactly what he wanted. You're gonna inspire copycats. Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
I hate motherfuckers like
as
that.
if we don't have a prolific gun violence problem already.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we shouldn't talk about this tragic national news because that's what they wanted.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the same people that say don't talk about Donald Trump. Because then you'll like encourage him. And it's like,
You're gonna
he's
encourage
already
him.
fucking encouraged.
He wants the media to talk about him.
But people are going to cover him anyway, and he's going to keep acting like this. Like, we may as well address the problem and get to the heart of the issue. We'd rather do that than ignore it.
It's like, you know what's gonna stop copycat school shooters?
Yeah.
More restrictive gun laws.
Exactly.
not showing this dude's face, not talking about this case.
Yeah. Speaking of gun laws, naturally, the shooting has started conversations around gun control again, which have honestly been vacant for quite a while.
And honestly, the conversations that it has started around gun control, pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, well, pretty much non-existent, but also like the same stuff that we were talking about after Parkland for like months and months.
But watered down.
Yeah, exactly. So in Congress, a bill was introduced back in March in the House to implement more rigorous background checks when it comes to buying a weapon.
Makes a lot of sense.
So the bill was brought back up in the Senate, and the GOP blocked the bill. GOP blocked the bill, baby.
Dude, speaking of the GOP and their blunders, I saw this one article right before we started filming. I can't remember what the congressperson was. It was a congressman. I don't know if he was in the Senate or the House.
Yeah.
But this dude, days after the shooting, took like family photos for Christmas cards of like the family strapped up.
Yes,
with
I saw
guns.
that too.
Dog, what are you doing?
I saw that too.
Oh my God, it's so bad. That's so bad.
Incredibly tone deaf.
What a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. But that's just normalized in our country. Like, that's just normal.
Literally.
Anyway, so this legislation was introduced, like I said, in March in the House. It passed the House. And then Democratic Senator Chris Murphy the other day asked for unanimous consent to consider the bill. And unanimous consent is just like a Senate process for introducing legislation. They just say, like, can I have unanimous consent to talk about this? And if one person says no, then they don't talk about it.
Love it.
It's the fastest way to get a bill introduced to the floor and start debate. Chuck Grassley, he said no. Second oldest member of the Senate said no.
Isn't that dude like 80 something?
I don't know. He's the second oldest behind Dianne Feinstein by like a few months.
Dianne Feinstein isn't 90, right?
I don't know how old. She was born in like 1933, so you knew the math real quick, like 80 something, 87, 88.
1933.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
I don't know. Math doesn't.
I'm not good at math. Math doesn't come to me naturally.
I can't put Gage on the spot.
Yeah.
But here's a quote from Senator Murphy. He says, "I don't claim that this proposal nor any other proposal to change the nation's gun laws will have an effect on every single shooting. But data shows expanded background checks saves lives, decreases gun violence, and decreases violent crime." What a novel thought.
Wow.
What an original idea.
That's so non-intuitive. Like, how could you come to that?
Exactly.
How could you come to that conclusion?
Chuck Grassley, he objected, saying that the bill is hostile towards gun owners, and proposed his own bill that would increase requirements for government agencies to accurately submit records to the National Instant Criminal Background Check System. But based on what I've seen of the reporting, his bill would actually roll back universal background check systems more than implement them.
I'm sorry. How is expanding universal background checks hostile to gun owners?
Yeah.
People who currently own guns, who are grandfathered in already.
Yeah.
What does that do to them?
He's dumb.
I mean, yeah, bro's literally over 80 years old.
Bro's literally one of the oldest senators. And like generally, I do support the Second Amendment because I think it's fine if you want to own a gun.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too.
Exactly.
I don't really give a shit.
I've never been one of those like abolish the Second Amendment kind of people.
Facts.
But the way guns work in the United States,
abysmal, actually atrocious.
You need to reform
There needs to be barriers to entry. Like, I'm sorry, not anybody should be able to own a gun.
Yeah.
And be able to get one just by going to Walmart.
I know for a fact that the United States is the worst country when it comes to school shootings.
Oh, yeah.
And I would think, I don't know if this is true, but I think that the United States is also the worst when it just comes to gun violence in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have the most guns out of any country in the world.
Yeah.
And by the way, it hasn't made us safer. Yeah. It has demonstrably made it less safe.
And people love to talk about Illinois, specifically Chicago, when they talk about gun reform and how restrictive the gun laws are in Illinois. Okay, they're restrictive in Illinois, but you know where they're not restrictive?
Neighboring states.
All of the bordering states around Illinois.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nationwide thing that needs to happen.
Yeah, it's almost as if when states create laws, they can't apply them in other states.
Yeah.
Therefore, people can just leave.
Yeah.
Like it's not a state-centered problem. It is a national problem that needs a national solution. And by the way, like there's a lot of people that are saying like, well, the Second Amendment protects you from a tyrannical government. No, it doesn't.
You're not gonna do shit. I'm sorry, you and your Terran tactical gear.
You think for a second that your AR is gonna stop a Stinger missile from hitting your house? It's not going to.
Yeah, no, literally. You think your 12 gauge is going to stop a Hellfire missile?
Exactly. You're not doing anything against the United States government.
The United States has dropped bombs on its citizens before.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact instance, but it's happened. And then in Waco, Texas, they deployed tanks against their own citizens.
Tanks. The Second Amendment's not going to protect you, big dog.
Crazy how that works.
It is not going to protect you. But generally, like I said, I support the right to have a gun. But like the argument that you need it to protect yourself against the government is insane.
Yeah.
Also because we know that when somebody, in the Breonna Taylor case, used their gun to protect themselves against the state, they were demonized by the right-wing media. They were demonized by the right-wing media that talks about loving guns so much in the Second Amendment. Like,
and then
it's dishonest.
The state apparatus that committed that vile act got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy how that works.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God.
Absolutely insane. This debate around gun laws, it's been happening for our entire lives. The NRA has completely bought the entire GOP.
Dude,
Democrats are way too weak to do anything. I don't think anything's going to change.
I'm surprised I haven't seen the NRA like come out and like do a speaking gig. Like, what's the fuck it? Charles something. The president of the NRA used to be an actor.
I don't know who
He
that
did all
is,
those
yeah.
Jesus movies back in like the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Charleston Heston, maybe?
I don't know what his name is. I know what you're talking. I remember hearing about all that.
But
though.
yeah, he's the fucking president of the NRA. I'm surprised that they haven't come out and like done speeches, ramped up their shit. Because usually after every school
Yeah.
shooting in the past, that's what they've done.
Yeah. They've ramped it up. They've ramped up the production.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably will. They've still got time.
They
It's only
probably
been
will
like a
within
week.
like the next week or two. Yeah, because this literally just happened.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens with gun reform as we move throughout, the next several months. But I am not optimistic that anything's going to change.
I don't think
We will
anything's gonna
sooner
happen.
search the belongings of every child coming into a school than implement any gun reform laws.
Because we do.
Yeah.
Because we do.
Yeah.
There are plenty of school districts here in Michigan that require translucent backpacks and have metal detectors.
Yeah. Like we will sooner literally subject students to all kinds of privacy invasions before we actually implement any kind of laws to restrict guns. It's all just a Band-Aid on a bleeding wound.
Yeah.
Like that's all it ever is. And that's probably all it's going to be moving forward. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Us ahead in the office, not optimistic.
Not at all.
Anyway.
Never are really.
Moving on to some abortion talk. Probably one of the most frequent topics on the pod, honestly.
Like for these last 3 weeks, it's just been there.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
outrage media for us, honestly. So, y'all may know a little Supreme Court ruling called Roe v. Wade.
Oh yeah, that classic ruling.
So that case established what is basically known as a woman's liberty to get an abortion that shouldn't be infringed upon by state government or the federal government.
Yeah.
Roe v. Wade set up a couple of standards. The first one was that during the first trimester, governments could not prohibit any kind of abortion. So every woman would have to have access to an abortion within the first trimester.
Fire.
Within the second trimester, state governments could impose like some health regulations, but they couldn't outright ban it. And then the third trimester, states were allowed to prohibit it as long as the laws contained certain exceptions, like when the woman's life was at risk. So that was the general standards that Roe v. Wade set up. And then in a following case, Planned Parenthood v. Casey upheld the ruling but reworked it so that a woman has to have access to abortion up to 24 weeks because apparently that's when viability was determined.
Okay,
in
yeah.
1992, I think that's when the case was.
arbitrary line.
Yeah, exactly. So the states couldn't prohibit abortion or infringe upon a woman's liberty to have an abortion up until 24 weeks. And then after 24 weeks, you can make laws about it. But there's a new case in front of the Supreme Court.
New case, okay.
And it is called Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization.
Wow.
It has to do with a Mississippi law that was passed, I don't know when, but it bans abortion
Wasn't it
after
passed,
15
like,
weeks.
Right around when the Texas law was passed?
Probably.
Okay.
But the Mississippi law bans abortion after 15 weeks.
15 weeks.
15 weeks. So
Like
obviously
outright bans?
outright bans.
That's crazy.
So it's obviously in conflict with Casey v. Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. Yeah, wait a minute.
So yeah, directly in conflict. And it's probably going to take the Supreme Court a few months to actually get to a decision, but they started like doing hearings about it.
Okay.
And it's not looking good with the 6-3 conservative supermajority.
Who would have thought it would?
Yeah, not looking great, honestly. So Mississippi not only asked the court to side with their law,
Of
but
course.
also has asked the court as a part of this ruling to undo all abortion restrictions and return the question of abortion solely to the states. That's what's up for grabs in this case.
That's so fucking stupid.
All abortion regulations is up for grabs in this case. Partly because Democrats have done nothing to codify it into law. Literally did nothing to codify Roe v.
Never
Wade into law.
taken advantage of their majorities.
Exactly.
Never.
And the Supreme Court is a conservative supermajority, so it's not looking great.
Love that.
But I thought maybe we could go through some of what the justices
Some
have
of
said.
the banger quotes that these people have dropped.
Yeah. So Justice Roberts, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, who is labeled as a moderate but is still a conservative, he said
Yeah.
that he's only interested in the question of 15 weeks, doesn't want to consider full reversal. But it literally doesn't matter because he's outnumbered.
Facts. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now it's instead of a 6-3 majority, it's a 5-4 majority.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
So he's okay with maybe cutting off 9 weeks from that period of when you can get an abortion. And he also, his opinion will not matter when it comes to reversal. Doesn't matter. All you need is a majority. Justice Alito, one of our favorite conservatives of all time, he said, and this is kind of putrid, so prepare
no.
yourself. He
Okay,
said,
I'm ready.
Is your argument that a case can never be overruled simply because it was egregiously wrong? And then he goes on to say, so suppose Plessy v. Ferguson
No.
was re-argued in 1897.
No.
So nothing had changed. Would it not be sufficient to say That was an egregiously wrong decision on the day that it was handed down, and now it should be overruled. And for those that don't know, Plessy v. Ferguson was the case that allowed for legal segregation that was not overturned until about 50 years later with Brown v. Board of Education.
Brosen, you guys overturned this absolutely egregious policy at the court. So why can't we overturn women's rights?
Yes. Bro said that sometimes the court may decide incorrectly, therefore I can apply that whenever I want.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of like, yes, of course, a court is a body that can make bad decisions, but you can't apply that logic anywhere.
Yeah, sure. The law is fluid. Like, I get it. It changes with the times.
Yes.
But you can't do that to just take the wrong stance.
He's literally, he's equating legal segregation to abortion.
Yeah.
How are those the same?
And it's like arguing like on those grounds. You could just extend that and say, what's the case that overturned Plessy v. Ferguson?
Brown v. Board of Education in 1950
yeah,
something.
That's right. You could just say, okay, Brown v. Board of Education was egregiously wrong. Let's overturn it now.
Yeah.
You could just
he would agree.
Do it again.
He would agree.
Literally.
He would
you could just do it again. Oh my God.
No, like that is such a putrid quote. He just admits that courts can be wrong.
How are they on the highest court in the body?
That's
like,
what
in
I'm
the land,
saying,
dude.
I could be a justice at this point.
Especially once you see the ABC quote.
Yeah.
That one's even worse.
Get us on the bench.
Facts.
Anyway, moving on. Brett Kavanaugh, one of the best.
Okay.
He said that this is an issue of states'
rights.
rights.
That guy loves women.
He said this is an issue of states' rights.
Okay.
He basically said, like, let's return this question to the states, which makes me think full reversals on the table for him.
I love states' rights, just conversations. I love that rhetoric.
Really dumb.
Yeah.
Because most state legislatures are composed almost entirely of men.
Mm-hmm.
And that would mean that mostly in mostly red states, men are going to be limiting access to abortion probably in every single possible way for women.
1,000%. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if if you can just return it to the states, if you overturn Roe v. Wade, I wouldn't be surprised if in Texas there's just an outright ban.
Yes.
There already is. Frankly, let's
Functionally.
be real. There's functionally an outright ban. But if there was literally just written in the law, you just can't get an abortion.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprising at all. And also, the entire point of Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey was that women are sovereign over their own bodies.
Yeah.
That they're able to make their own choices within certain legal parameters.
Uh-huh.
And now they just want to unroll all of it.
Like
they know exactly what's going to happen if they return it to the states.
Oh my
They
God.
100% know. Like, it's not motivated by, like, actual considerations of the law at all. It's entirely motivated by restricting a woman's ability to get an abortion.
Motivated by the culture war.
Yeah.
Entirely motivated by the it's like abortion and gun rights are the two biggest things that get one issue voters to vote for the GOP.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then our friend, Amy Coney Bozo, she went on to say that adoption is a viable option if abortion's off the table or inaccessible for most Americans.
You got me absolutely fucked up, dog.
You got me chopped.
We talked about this last week.
Yes.
She needed to tune into the pod. One.
Get her on the pod. Get us on the Supreme Court.
Facts. We'll switch places. We'll trade.
We can make it 11 on the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And then it'll still be like 6 conservatives to 3 liberals, and then you'll have 2 socialists on the court.
Exactly. Let's go.
We'll balance it. That's fair. That's balanced.
Come on now. Fair and balanced. We love that. We love fair and balanced news around here. But you got to be fucking kidding me with that take.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely abysmal. Tell me you don't know anything about the state of like the adoption system and fucking foster care in this country without telling me.
Hey.
Most upper middle class people who go to adopt would rather pay like $15,000 to adopt a baby from overseas, like that they get to pick and choose like everything from, than adopt a kid that's here that needs it for free.
I was gonna say, I think that's exactly what Amy Coney Barrett did.
Literally, I forgot about that.
I think she adopted 2 kids. I think
she's got 2 kids from. Oh God, I want to say from Africa.
I don't know what country or continent it is. I think
I'm
they're
pretty
black.
Sure they're
though.
brown.
I think so. Yeah, but
Dog.
That's probably exactly what she did.
No, literally.
Yeah, but she
my
knows the
fucking God,
adoption
dude.
system. She knows that it's a viable option.
Yeah,
because,
she knows that she's been through the adoption system.
Yeah, absolutely. She's literally dealt with the adoption system. So many kids need parents.
Exactly, bro. Foster care is adequate.
So let's restrict the right to abortion so the foster care system and the abortion system just gets even more flooded.
Yeah, no, let's just flood the already underfunded foster system right now.
Yeah.
It'll be perfect. It'll all work out for us.
Because those outcomes are really good for those kids.
Yeah, because don't people like pay to buy these kids, right?
Uh-huh.
Like they pay to buy them.
Yeah, yeah. It's the free market, baby.
Come on.
That's the free market. I love how our entire argument's just based off of, well, I adopted kids. That's a really good legal How are these people on the Supreme Court?
It's like
How?
How didn't she go to like, oh God, I want to say Yale or something like that?
She went to probably went to an Ivy League. Yeah.
She went to some like fancy fucking law school.
Yeah.
How the fuck did she get in?
It's a mystery to me, big dog. I have no idea.
She went to some fancy undergrad as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's going on here? I go to a state school.
Yeah.
I go to a state school and I'm smarter than you.
Right. Hang
I
on.
got infinitely better takes than you. What's up with that?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I don't. It boggles my mind how these people on the Supreme Court. And based on the court's decision earlier this year to not block Texas's abortion law from being implemented, I am not confident in what they're going to do with this Mississippi law. Slim pickings. And by the way, an update on that Texas abortion law. Apparently, clinics in neighboring states have been absolutely overwhelmed with requests for aid.
Fantastic.
Absolutely overwhelmed because like you're gonna have to pay a fine if you try to get an abortion in Texas after 6 weeks. So obviously you're gonna go out of state. So those clinics have just been completely overwhelmed by women that need help.
It's almost like things are going exactly as we predicted them to go.
Wow.
Crazy.
It's almost as if doctors cannot recommend a woman go to a clinic in the state because then they will get fined thousands of dollars. $10,000, I think, is what it was.
And what about the women who just can't travel that far?
Oh, like most poor people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
Yeah, exactly.
I
Exactly.
love this country.
Conservatives absolutely love individual freedom until women get it.
1,000%.
Like, they love to talk about how they're the party of individual freedom and personal choice and like small government, and then they just have this massive hulking government that is going to force you to go to term with the child.
Oh yeah, and it's like I like how conservatives have been trying and failing to employ the "my body, my choice" rhetoric when it comes to masks. It's like, okay, so you accept that?
No, they can't. They fundamentally cannot accept that.
This doesn't work either way you spin it. Because
Right.
either you're making fun of my body, my choice, and you just gotta suck it up and wear your mask, or you're accepting that framing in a broad context and fuck with abortion.
Right. And here's the thing: is that we can make the argument that wearing a mask has nothing to do with bodily autonomy.
No.
We can make
it
that
doesn't,
argument.
because your bodily autonomy ends when you're gonna kill somebody.
Exactly. We can make that argument, but conservatives have to accept one of the two paths because they can't make the argument that like masks are infringing on my freedom, but a government stopping a woman from getting an abortion is not.
Yeah.
Exactly. But honestly, for them, it always comes down to the personhood argument.
1,000%.
Every single time. Because like I feel like anytime you debate with conservatives about abortion, like they're subconsciously just trying to make the personhood argument.
Yeah, it always comes down to personhood. It always comes down to the philosophical argument, even though they would not survive a day in Philosophy 101.
No, not at all.
God, no.
Not at all.
Those classes are ruthless.
Especially because you're like, well, what happens when like a sentient creature that we kill is more sentient than a fucking fetus?
Oh my God.
And then they're like, well, it's a human.
Yeah, if you want to see a real interesting thread, go to our TikTok.
Exactly.
And I think it's is it the first video we did? Is it the first clip?
Yeah.
The first clip, the first abortion clip that we have, it should be like the fourth video back by the time that this is posted. Fourth, fifth, maybe sixth. I don't know. It depends on if we're posting like demons.
Might have to.
It's the one with like 300 fucking comments on it.
Yeah.
Putrid takes all over the place.
Oh yeah, just
motherfuckers just
really
arguing
bad takes.
in bad faith. Us
like,
too.
Still getting comments like to this day. Posted like a week ago.
There's one fucking dude. This video's been up for like a week, and there's one dude that just keeps coming back every day to get shit on.
Yeah.
He's got to have a kink for it.
Yeah. Making the worst arguments.
Oh my God,
it's
literally.
so bad.
I dunked on him so many times.
Yeah. Y'all go check it out. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Give us a follow too, by the way.
You know. It is.
Anyway, like conservatives, they claim to be Republicans really claim to be the family or the party of family values.
Yeah.
Unless it applies to like women being able to get an abortion so they don't sink into poverty, or like immigrant families crossing the border, or children in schools. Like they claim to be the party of family values, and then will actively destroy families.
They are just unable to look past what's 2 feet in front of them.
Yeah.
And look at things in context.
No introspection ability whatsoever.
Absolutely zero nuance.
Yes. None at all.
So fun.
None at all. Anyways, I think that's probably sums it up on abortion.
That's that for that.
Not looking good.
Speaking of conservatives and women, you're going to have to stick with me for this while I talk about this little story, because it won't come full circle until the end. I'm sure you all may have heard that at least earlier in the week, or this is coming out if you're watching this on Wednesday, earlier last week, Chris Cuomo was suspended from CNN
True.
because he was found to be serving as an unpaid aide to his brother while he was going through his sexual assault scandal.
Didn't we literally say this when
Yeah,
we covered the Cuomo stuff?
We did,
the Andrew
because
Cuomo
it
stuff.
came out a while ago that he was doing all that.
Yeah.
But now there was like a big info dump from the law firm that is like investigating the case for CNN. And so even more stuff came out, more transcripts came out on like how exactly he was doing it. And basically Chris was using his media connections as the story was breaking to try and like lessen the blow for his brother.
I think we literally had that take like on whatever episode it was that we talked about.
I'm sure we did.
Go look back at our early episodes.
Sure
Check it
we
out.
did. Somebody fact check us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we did. But that's not all. During like the law firm's investigation into it, they found out that someone who used to work for Chris when he was at a different media company
Yeah.
came out with like a sexual misconduct allegation against him.
Oh, it runs in the family.
So that's one, literally runs in the family. That's one right there,
Mhm.
right? That's a whole nother thing. So that's what caused CNN to just say, fuck it, you're terminated, you're done.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's it. But that's not what I at least find interesting about the case. Because,
Okay.
like we said, we predicted it already. We
Yeah.
figured that this is what's going to happen.
Months
Dude's in the
ago.
media. He should have fucking taken leave.
Months ago.
Like, when this thing was going on, he should have just taken leave. He should have kept his fucking grubby little mitts off of it.
Yeah.
And not helped his brother try and get away with sexual assault.
He should not have been allowed to report on the story whatsoever.
And to be fair, he didn't report on it, like, on
Oh,
his
he didn't?
thing. But,
Okay.
like, he's using his media allies. Dude's a
Yeah.
powerful figure in media. He was CNN's top program in the
Yes.
primetime slot.
Yes.
Like,
you should not be able to influence things to lessen blows for your family members.
bros got connections,
Yeah.
right? But like I said, we've already been over this. This isn't really news.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's
What
not
I
news.
think is so funny about the situation is on Instagram, like Instagram comments and just online in general, the comments under like reports about this have been so fucking wild.
Oh no.
It's been people who I'm going to assume are conservatives or like
Fair assumption.
right-leaning people saying, while I don't really like Chris Cuomo, I don't like that guy, I have to respect that he's willing to help his brother. like dog. It's so funny that you stay shitting on Democrats
Oh.
and like we stay shitting on Democrats too, but for way different reasons. You stay shitting on Democrats and anyone that's like on the left, adjacent to the left, until they act adjacent to a sex crime.
That is insane.
Wild. Absolutely wild.
Bro, you can't defend
They're giving the game away.
party
They're
of family
giving the
values.
game away.
Party of family values.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, they're literally just giving the game away and admitting that they only support people from the other party when they commit crimes.
It's like, oh yeah, fuck you for wanting like how shitty things that Democrats want. Fuck you for wanting racism to be over. But I heard you helped your brother try and get away with sexual assault.
Respect, brother. Respect, brother. I support the grind and your family values.
Exactly.
That is actually
that is family values. That's what family values is to them.
yeah. Covering up for anything.
Helping your family members get away with egregious sex crimes.
Mhm. God, that is actually insane. And I remember conservatives were criticizing Andrew Cuomo, coming at him and be like, look at this, Democrats, like you still support him. And
Yeah.
that was after like every Democrat had abandoned Andrew Cuomo.
Oh yeah.
And they were just able to like, claim the dub because like, to be fair, dude from the Democratic Party was being terrible.
Yeah.
And like he deserved to be impeached as governor and then he eventually stepped down. But it's so funny to see conservatives defending Chris Cuomo now.
Mhm.
Like after they shit on Andrew Cuomo for so long.
After they showed both of them for so long.
Rightly so, by the way. Both those guys suck.
Yeah.
The Cuomos are terrible. But oh my God.
At least their news incest is going to be over.
I hope
Never
so.
gonna have to see that again. Never gonna have to see the mom likes me better.
During the election when they'd be on at the same time,
Oh
being like,
my
I
God.
support you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
During like Governor Cuomo's like just whole COVID thing.
yeah.
Whole COVID just like circle jerk that he
Oh,
was
yeah.
doing with himself.
When he wrote a book after
Oh
he
my
killed like thousands
God.
of old people
Yeah.
on purpose.
Yeah, literally.
That is so putrid. I absolutely hate the Cuomos. I'm
facts.
anti-Cuomo-sexual.
They
I'm
suck.
Cuomophobic.
Oh shit.
I'm Cuomophobic.
Bro, you're getting into Italiophobic territory.
I am
territory.
Italiophobic at this
Oh,
point.
No.
I'm labeling all Italians basically based on what I see
Thanks,
within
bro.
Chris Cuomo and Andrew
Yeah,
Cuomo.
what pictures of Cuomo are they going to be showing on the news after this
Yeah.
one? Trying to paint him
Yeah.
like a bad, trying to paint white people, Italians as bad people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to show him at his worst because Italians are people of Let me not get myself in trouble. Anyways, moving on to a kind of a related thing in terms of topic, but
Yeah.
I'm going to issue another trigger warning right here for topics of sexual assault because we're going to be talking about Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh yeah.
So Ghislaine Maxwell, if you don't know, associate of Jeffrey Epstein, she is on trial.
Associate girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein.
Associate / girlfriend / business partner kind of thing.
Sex trafficker /
Well, yes.
Well, alleged. I'm sorry, alleged.
That is
sex
yet to be
trafficker.
seen, Gage.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in the news, in other news, the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell started last week.
Yep.
And at the point of listening to this, there'll probably be like even more days of trial that have happened. But Maxwell is being charged with several felony counts.
Oh yeah.
And she's being charged with the sex trafficking of minors, which is like, yes,
Yes,
that is
yes,
exactly what happened. Much of the prosecution's argument has been against Epstein, really, and trying to draw like the connection between Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and trying to like make the case that Maxwell has been preying on poor women and promising them wealth and prosperity, for like doing the nasty shit with Epstein. And so far, a few people have taken the stand. And actually, I don't know if they've all taken the stand, but there's been like testimonies or at least personal accounts from these people. The first one was a woman that was going by the pseudonym of Jane because she didn't want to reveal her name, who has said that she was coerced and abused by Epstein when she was around 14 years old for like 2 years.
Love that.
And Maxwell's defense reportedly grilled Jane on the fact that it took her decades to speak out.
I love it when there's a rape case going on or a sexual assault case.
Oh, even worse.
And the
by the way, sex
yeah,
trafficking.
So much worse.
Yeah, for
actually.
decades. Yeah.
Everybody really knows the gravity of the Epstein case.
Yeah.
Like I love it when there's something like that goes on, and then the defense is just victim blame.
Yes.
It's just victim blame. Victim blame.
Consistently victim blame.
Same thing with the Bill Cosby shit that happened.
Yeah.
I've seen so much victim blaming about that.
Maxwell's defense is basically trying to say that the story is manufactured as a way to like capitalize on the public outrage about Jeffrey Epstein.
For what? Like for what gain?
Money, attention, like that's what their argument
Oh
is.
yeah, she wants attention. That's why she's using a pseudonym.
Yeah.
Which
is really dumb because like there is a massive stigma around people speaking up about their sexual assault experiences. They're constantly shamed, treated as like broken or like used or like someone that needs to be fixed.
treated as dirty.
Exactly. Like there's so much of a stigma around coming out about this stuff, even when it's not a high profile sex trafficking crime.
Yeah,
when it's just
even
like
if it's-
a regular sexual, well, it shouldn't even be regular, but just like your average sexual assault experience. So many people never speak out about that thing, never tell their friends, their family, because they're ashamed of it.
Isn't it like 70-something% is just never reported?
Something like that, probably. I mean, like, and there was like it's disgusting that this is the way that victims of sex crimes are treated. And of course, like, I mean, I don't know what other defense Maxwell's defense team is going to use.
What are they going to issue?
Like, there's no way that they can defend Maxwell without saying some egregious stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
we've
oh
got
my
the
God.
black book. We've got pictures. We've
Yeah.
got literally so much against them.
But there was an earth-altering, reality-shattering quote from a psychologist
Okay.
on the stand, like a bombshell testimony.
All right.
The psychologist said, "Survivors open up about their experiences when they feel safe doing so."
No way. Who'd have thought?
That is-
Who would have thought?
My mind is blown. I cannot
Wow.
believe that's how it works.
Crazy.
It's almost as if, Jeffrey Epstein being a public figure for the last 3 decades or even longer scares people into not speaking about their experiences
It's
sooner.
almost like this dude being super powerful, super connected with a bunch of different political figures.
Yeah.
Them having come in contact with these political
Yeah.
figures would be a scary thing.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
It's almost as if there's a lot of societal pressures that keep people from speaking out about their experiences. Almost like that.
But that's just a theory.
Yeah. That's just a theory. Epstein's former pilot also testified,
Okay.
saying that Epstein's clients included people like Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. We already knew about that, though.
Yeah,
to be fair.
we've been
There've
new.
been pictures of
Multiple
them.
Pictures.
The pilot also claimed that he never saw any unaccompanied minors on the plane.
Dog.
Dog, you're perjuring yourself.
Come on.
You're
You're
literally
just
lying.
getting yourself in trouble, dog.
And by the way, the pilot's kids went to private school and then college on Epstein's dime. So it's almost as if he has incentives to not tell the truth right now.
Yeah. It's almost like, in a way, just like that psychologist was saying, people will come out when they feel safe. He doesn't feel safe to, like, come out with things like that.
Yeah.
Even though he absolutely should.
I mean-
but, like, he's got to think, like, shit, like, what's going to happen? Like, is the money going to stop? Is all this going to stop?
Yeah.
Like, my kids went to school on his dime. I'm like by proxy,
Yeah.
a defendant in this case, you know?
Oh yeah, I feel like I might have heard of him like not being acquitted, but like I don't know, getting some
There
kind
would
of
have
treatment
been like
where
a plea deal.
right.
if
He's
he
like
testified.
he's like not going to be charged or something like
Yeah.
that. But dude has been the pilot for like 30 years.
Facts. Like maybe he's thinking if he testified, he'd be found to have killed himself. A la Epstein, you know?
True. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He'll have hung himself by getting shot in the back of the head.
Twice.
Yeah,
Twice.
exactly. So yeah, this dude absolutely complicit in what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me he saw absolutely nothing when the most prolific pedophile in the world was literally transporting like teenage women to his islands.
Oh yeah. How else would they have got there?
Yeah. Dude was the pilot for so long. He
Mm-hmm.
knows. He absolutely knows. And like throwback to when Donald Trump had heard about Ghislaine Maxwell being
Dog.
arrested.
Dog.
And he was like, I wish her well. Her boyfriend just died. That was so
Well, then
funny.
he kept defending it.
Yeah.
He doubled down. That was the hill he wanted to die. And he's like, what? Like, I'm just wishing her well. We used to be friends.
Yeah.
Like, dog.
He said I met with her several times. She's a nice person. Her boyfriend just died.
yeah.
Like he framed it like it was just some random dude
And-
that died.
And conservatives like love to talk about like this case as like an example of like the liberal elite,
Yeah.
you know, being pedophiles and shit, as if there aren't many conservatives also implicated in this, and as if Donald Trump didn't defend this bitch.
Yeah.
They didn't give a shit about that.
Donald Trump has pictures with Jeffrey Epstein, like straight up.
And then I think someone else testified, like a driver
Mhm.
testified about how they drove like minors or some shit to give Trump massages at Mar-a-Lago.
Oh my God.
Wild.
That was in the trial that they
I
testified
think
that?
so, yeah.
That's crazy.
Right?
Trump's never going to get charged with any of this, though,
Oh
by the
no,
way.
definitely not.
There's
There
no
are
ch-
so many things this dude could have been charged with. over the
Especially,
last couple
like,
years.
I mean, Bill Clinton, the Clintons won't get charged with anything either.
oh god, no.
But, like,
Hillary,
I'm
Nah.
sure that, and I think another person implicated was, like, Prince Andrew or something, and he's, like, denied all
Yeah.
of the allegations. But, like, none of these rich, powerful people are ever going to be charged with anything in relation to the Epstein case.
Oh no, it doesn't matter to them.
Like, honestly, I think the only reason that the state's even going after Ghislaine Maxwell is because they can't go after Jeffrey Epstein anymore because they never got the chance to do it.
yeah, because I wonder what happened to that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what happened to that guy.
What happened to that guy?
And then another person, a former house manager of Epstein, also testified. His
Okay.
name is Juan Alessi. He's a former house manager. He said that Maxwell was with Epstein 95% of the time, and Maxwell often instructed young women on how to interact with Jeffrey Epstein. He also said that he had never heard anything about what was going on, which is like,
But you know that she instructed them,
yeah,
so you heard the instruction.
feels a little improbable, if you will.
Yeah, I'm just saying if this is a bell curve,
Yeah.
this is really feeling like in the realm of the 4th or 5th standard
Yeah.
deviations.
Extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
So apparently, the defense here
Yeah.
has been impeccable.
Oh no.
They've done a really good job at painting the case as a prime example of manipulation with men exerting power over women. Like, that's kind of their stake in this case. That's like their claim of what's happening.
And it's like, yeah, but that's more of an explanation. Like, if you accept this in the most charitable way possible, that's an explanation, not an excuse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I was listening to True Anon, which is like a conspiracy theory kind of podcast, and they're covering the Maxwell case pretty intimately. I think
Yeah.
they're there, like, covering it
Oh,
in the
wow.
courtroom or like in one of the courtrooms where they can watch it.
Yeah.
And they said that Maxwell's lawyers are absolute demons in the courtroom.
For real?
They said that apparently the main defense attorney opened up with this line, absolute banger of a
Okay,
quote.
okay.
She said, "Ever since Adam and Eve, women have been blamed for the actions of men."
That's hard as fuck. That's a
Bro.
fucking banger.
Bro,
right there.
if I was like on the prosecution side, I'd be like, "It's done, we lost, it's over." Like that's what she opened with on the first day.
Imagine what her closing argument's gonna be.
I know, she's a demon in the courtroom.
That's
dog.
insane. It's like Maxwell's got that Epstein money,
Yeah.
like backing her too.
Yeah.
She can afford to hire these crazy fucking lawyers.
Oh yeah,
Like, and I mean, leave it up to a demon to drop such a biblical quote like that.
exactly.
Like, holy shit,
Straight up biblical.
that's hard.
Like, you've won at least half the jury over after that line.
oh my god, for real. Like, it's an uphill battle for the prosecution when it shouldn't be.
Yeah, and apparently the defense, their narrative is really that the case is entirely about memory, manipulation, and money. They're saying like
That's
these
kind of a
women
banger,
are
too.
not. Yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
alliteration is nice. They keep saying like the women that are coming forward, their memory is wrong. Ghislaine Maxwell was manipulated into doing this stuff, and money's been paid to people to like keep them quiet. And not talking about what Epstein did, while Ghislaine is really just an innocent bystander in all of this.
Okay, but like even if she again, most charitable interpretation, even if she was manipulated into doing this, I can't say that I was manipulated into killing somebody and then get off.
Exactly.
Like,
you still did it.
Yeah.
That's not how
She
the criminal
still did
justice
all these
system works.
things. Like there's so many levels of agency there.
Yeah.
Like come on.
We can only understand like the conditions that force people into doing bad things when it's going to get someone off for a sex crime.
Facts.
Like that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's literally it. And like is Ghislaine Maxwell a victim? Probably.
Yeah,
Like,
like
she-
I don't doubt it.
Like she was probably manipulated by Jeffrey Epstein. He had a lot of money. I don't know how much money she came from, but like she was probably manipulated.
Uh-huh.
She was probably a victim to some extent. That does not justify sex trafficking.
Not an excuse. It's
You-
definitely not an excuse.
You're an adult woman. You can get out. You can report all of this. Like you knew what was
She
going
could
on.
have called the cops.
Yeah.
Like at any point along the road.
Like you were a business partner.
Mhm.
Like and you were very complicit in what was
You
going
stood
on.
to gain a lot from doing this.
And you did.
yeah.
And you literally did gain a lot.
Clearly you gained some fire fucking attorneys.
Oh my god, I know. That's a crazy quote.
I'm a sucker for biblical quotes like that. Like,
Yeah,
damn.
like that is it's straight. And I hate that it's coming from that vile
I
creature.
know.
Like it makes me so angry. And on the True or Non podcast, they were like, after that line was said, everyone just like gasped, and then there was just a massive groan because they're like, oh.
come on.
Yeah, they're like, bro, come on. And apparently the prosecution was like a little bit weak to start off. Like apparently not all their witnesses are very convincing, and their arguments are like, it seems like they're a little bit nervous because it's such a high profile case.
What is it with prosecutors and fumbling the bag this last month?
I don't know. But I feel like to be a defense attorney for these awful people, you literally have to feel nothing ever.
Oh yeah.
So you
100%.
can just get up there and spit.
yeah.
Like you can
Spit.
just get up there in front of a jury of Ghislaine Maxwell's peers,
Yeah.
and just start spitting but just start orating.
They got Drake's ghostwriter
Exactly.
for their closing and opening
That is like,
statements.
and apparently she had some like other bangers in there.
Really?
And and like her defense attorney's just cool, calm, collected, spitting bars, making like the victims doubt themselves and stuff. Like it's
God, just
it's bad.
gaslighting
Straight up-
actively.
straight up gaslighting, just
Just
actively
a girl,
gaslighting.
gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
Yeah.
Through the court.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know how convinced the jury has been thus far. It's only been a week of hearings, but like, oh my god, like I'm sure that some of the people, like the pilot that got up there, wasn't very convincing because it's like, come on, Doug, like
Yeah.
you very clearly are implicated here.
Mhm. There
And
are
you very
pictures.
clearly are lying.
Yeah.
But like, such a banger of an opening.
Yeah.
Why do
it's-
why do
my
bad
God.
people say such bangers sometimes?
Yeah, why do villains always got the cool lines?
Right.
You know, the good guys always got corny shit.
Why can't the prosecution open with just a punch to the jaw?
Just soccer.
Yeah, like that's such. I cannot get over that opening. That's
And
so
it's like,
hard.
I still kind of have faith for the case because
Yeah.
literally nobody is on Epstein's side.
Oh yeah.
In the public, not a single fucking person is like,
I know.
yeah, this guy did nothing. Yeah, this guy killed himself. Nobody thinks that.
Nobody, yeah, honestly, like there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that have to do with like Epstein and his like business associates and like who really
Yeah.
was involved in what he was doing. But I feel like it's just a mainstream accepted truth at this time that Epstein did not kill himself.
Oh, 1000%. Because he didn't. Like, I'm sorry, dude.
It
Didn't.
doesn't make any sense. And I think on Chapo they were talking about this a couple weeks ago, and basically how like the prison that he was in, they were trying to lose him.
Yeah.
Straight up trying to lose Epstein. Like they checked him in as a black man when he got there.
Yeah, and didn't the camera like cut out? Or
The
some
camera
shit?
cut out. He killed himself killed himself right when like the guard walked away or he wasn't being watched. They
Which
put him,
he was supposed to be watched 24/7.
I think they put him in his own private cell.
Yep.
Like I don't know. They moved him up to like the top floor, which is like I don't know what the word they used, but it was like the easiest floor to live on, I guess. Like it's kind of suspicious.
Yeah, and it's like I remember I was watching Come Town, like them like doing their little thing about it, and that's when I learned that the Clintons have known, I think, over 200 people that have killed themselves.
Yeah.
Some with 2 bullets to the back of the head.
Like you gotta like
like I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
yeah. Like it's kind of suspicious behavior.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. And it's like some of the Epstein conspiracies are wild.
Mhm.
Like, God, there's one, because I think his dad or grandpa was like a part of the CIA or some shit. There's been a couple conspiracies saying that Epstein was actually like a double agent trying to catch like the elite in their acts. But it's like, okay, but then he participated in these acts.
Feels like a conspiracy. I don't know.
That one feels like a conspiracy. But the fact that Epstein killed himself,
Yeah, it's very,
Yeah.
very, very suspicious. And I think like the most glaring truth about Epstein's treatment was that this dude gets into prison, gets like his own cell, is basically almost lost within the prison system. But if like one poor black man commits like a theft, he's
it's
literally
solitary confinement for 3
Right,
years.
He's treated extremely harsh to the fullest extent of the law.
Mhm.
And Jeffrey Epstein just gets to like chill in his own private cell.
Yeah. Or you get like, what is it, Rastafarians who don't cut their hair.
Yeah.
Them in prison like a couple years ago, like I want to say 20 years ago, Rastafarians in prison, if they didn't cut their hair, they'd be in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
So there are a couple that came out of prison doing their whole sentence in solitary.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling that we can treat like just regular people who have not committed national
Yeah.
sex trafficking. We can treat them like incredibly harsh. Like they are
Uh-huh.
the scum of the earth, but like Jeffrey Epstein gets lost in the prison system.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cannot tell me that money and power does not influence your treatment in every aspect of society.
Tags.
Like, oh my God. And I mean, just to sum up the Maxwell trial so far, it's been absolutely vile.
Oh yeah, we'll be back next week talking more about it.
Oh yeah, well, there are probably going to be some more interesting turn of events, and we'll see what happens.
Probably some more bangers.
And my prediction right now is that, I think that the goal of the prosecution was basically to make Maxwell take the fall for everything that happened, and
Yeah.
with Epstein, because Epstein can't take the fall anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But people like the Clintons, Donald Trump, everyone else that was involved with Jeffrey Epstein, they're going to get away.
Oh yeah,
They will never be
1000%.
charged with anything.
But again, if this was like a say a more mid-tier sex trafficking ring,
Yeah.
and it was say regular people involved, like doing the crimes,
Mm-hmm.
like doing the sex acts, they'd be persecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah.
There'd be a whole task force dedicated to finding every single person who purchased services
Mm-hmm.
from this like ring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like people that peddle drugs from Mexico into the United States, they
Oh, yeah.
go to prison and see their entire trial.
Uh-huh.
Epstein didn't. Like like they are watched 24/7. They are kept in the worst conditions and have to face the harshest penalties for their crime.
Mm-hmm.
But like rich white people in the United States that have been comfy with elites for all of their lives get away with these crimes.
Crazy.
The system is fundamentally broken.
Mm-hmm.
And they will never, people like Donald Trump, people like Bill Clinton, anyone else involved with Jeffrey Epstein that's like an elite will never be prosecuted for this stuff.
Yeah.
The people that actively perpetuated that kind of behavior
Yeah.
from Jeffrey Epstein will never face trial for
The
this.
people who in many ways facilitated that type of behavior.
Enabled him.
Yeah.
Like if these people were like had any shred of decency in them, they would have like, I don't know, told the police immediately as soon as they learned about what he was doing. But they didn't. They participated in it.
Yeah.
Like
They're responsible for QAnon.
Yeah,
Like, this is why
Donald-
QAnon's a fucking thing.
Donald Trump literally caused QAnon. Like, oh my God, these people are so vile. They're so out of touch with reality, and it's just, I mean, you can't convince me this life is real.
Yeah. you
We're
can't
living in a
convince me I don't live
simulation,
in a sim.
folks. Like
It's ridiculous.
we're living in a simulation. None of it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything that's happened, mind-boggling.
Oh,
Donald
yeah.
Trump's gonna win in 2024. It's a simulation. It doesn't matter.
Trump, DeSantis, and/or DeSantis Owens is gonna win in 2024.
Candace Owens vice president.
Oh,
That'd
yeah,
be
baby,
wild.
that'd be so cool.
That'd be such terrible for the country. Great for content. It's like it's an inverse relationship, people.
Exactly, that's what it's
Well,
all about.
it's an
Not-
inverse-
it's not even like we've got things like the Mayor Pete documentary coming
Yeah.
out. That's great content. We gotta watch that, by the way.
Well, I was gonna say it's not even like an inverse relation. It's an inverse relationship when it's definitely Republicans.
Yeah.
Great content, bad for the country. But even when it's Democrats, it's still kind of
Great content, bad for the country.
But like Joe Biden doesn't give us enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he poops his pants in front of the Queen, or no, Duke of something.
Something, yeah.
But
royalty.
that's like the funniest thing he's done.
Exactly. Joe Biden doesn't give it to us, but all of like the Democratic establishment attempted attempting to prop this dude up,
Hilarious.
they're giving it to us.
Mayor Pete giving it to us.
Oh my god.
Whole episode was on him last episode.
Thanks. That was a good one. That was funny.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, that's some putrid news for you all. I hope this episode wasn't too sad.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some a bit lighter news, some funnier stuff we can talk about next week. But
Facts.
you know, that's just how it goes.
Exactly.
Anyway, we appreciate you all for listening to this episode.
1000%.
But before we go, we got to give a special shout out to our patrons. So
Ooh.
special thanks to Cricket Scrapbook Layouts, Nikki Nine Lives, Kaden Kraut, Terrence Nicholson, Chris the Postman, Christy Beck, and my mom for supporting the show on Patreon. We couldn't do it without you all.
Let's go.
Hopefully we'll get the studio tour up really soon. I know it's been some time since we hit our goal.
It's I know we said like this isn't the full studio. It's not.
We're almost there.
Believe us, we're working. But I've bit off a lot.
Yeah.
With this final addition to the studio, it is a lot.
And we are currently fighting for our lives in college
like I
right
said
now.
At the beginning, I am beaten, I am battered, and I am bruised.
I'm straight up crying all the time.
Exactly. Jeremy's got like this coming week is his finals week.
Yes.
The week after is my finals week. Dying.
But then after that,
After that,
you'll hopefully
3 solid weeks of winter break
exactly
to recoup.
Exactly. We'll be pumping out content, and you guys will get a bunch more. So don't even worry about it. So that'll be soon. That'll be soon. Just a little update for you all. But thanks for listening to the pod, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Have a good one.